Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the Carolinas and Bank of America Stadium here in Uptown Charlotte. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Miami Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they interplay here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they've got all W's on the ledger so far, a perfect 6-0.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this season, but they're showing everyone early on that they intend to be there in the end.
Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They'll have Lamar Jackson calling the shots, the former Heisman Trophy winner from Louisville.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
One touchdown, one pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe he leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Set! Green 39! Green 39!
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. And his first look is incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. And it's second down. And the offensive starters for the Panthers.
DeAndre Hopkins was named All-Pro for the first time in 2017. And really don't have to do much but look at the statistics to know why. 4 touchdown grabs in 2016, jumped that up to 13 in 2017. That led all NFL receivers. Also added in 96 catches and close to 1,400 yards. DeAndre Hopkins' ability to get free in the secondary is a marvel, mainly because of head fakes and body control.
And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. A gain of 3, second down. Time to roll through the starters now defensively for Miami. They come into this one ranked number 5 in the NFL against the run.
And the mantra of this unit, get to the football. Fly to the ball carrier. And you know how you can tell that they do it really well? At the end of each play, when you click off the frame, count the number of guys that are around the ball carrier. It's always 7, 8, 9 guys. They get to them each and every play.
And now Jackson will look to throw it toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Oh, Travis Kelce unable to pull it in. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block and catch the football, not easily done in today's NFL.
It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive. Yeah,
so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? On second down, here's Jackson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. The Dolphins do the job defensively there, and now it brings up fourth.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle. Come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Nyheim Hines, his first carry. Breaks a tackle. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. A look now at the Miami offense.
I always find it interesting that when we have conversations about the best wide receivers in the NFL, it's not often that Jarvis Landry's name rolls out right in the first group. But when you evaluate what he does overall, his body of work, his ability to break down defenses once he catches the ball and gets downfield, people bounce off of him, then you realize he's one of the top guys out there.
It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And he spins past him and into space. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary.
And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Illegal touching, offense.
Would have put him in the lead, but hold that thought.
Yeah, the celebration had to stop, didn't it? Because now you're on a real uptick. You're in the lead. Instead, you're still behind. Have to find a way to regroup.
On second down, here's Tannehill. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Landry again, the intended target, and it'll bring up third down. Defensively, here are the starters for Carolina. And this unit, very tough to throw against, currently second best in the NFL.
And when you're getting ready to face the #1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Tannehill now to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. The Dolphin passing game rolling here. They've got another first down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's third down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball?
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Dolphins are going to take a first quarter lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Boswell good with the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And onto the field here. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
Now let's go!
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Now Jackson on second down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. The former first-round pick, Vernon Hargraves, the one who was there defensively.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Give them a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And now running right through it. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin first down. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurtling through them.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On first down, Tannehill. Now he steps away to the right side, and he's got Landry complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Now it's Hines. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Now a handoff looking right. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now fourth down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the third time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from it. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. Now whistles here, and it looks like we've got a Panther that's having some difficulty down there getting up. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Well, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
Here's Jordan Berry now, standing just outside his own goal line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now,
and got his man complete. 20, 10, and all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Brandon Cooks, 77 yards. And the Dolphins strike quickly here for 6 points. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Carolina getting set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. 14-3, that's our score. We're back to Uptown Charlotte after this timeout.
The NFL Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. They'll run it now out of the gun. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Jackson. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he gets it down to the 32. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt. I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a first down. When you want 3, get a little bit closer, make it an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. 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 18 yar
and reading your keys. You always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. He uncorks it and that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Willie Snead, his second touchdown on the season, and the Dolphins add on to their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Boswell good with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up fourth.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Carolina. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Now Landry. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. Now, the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the second quarter.
And a lot of that is pride because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
And he probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. That's a good way to start the drives. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain down to about the 33. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. This is Hines. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Hines. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. They come out here in the eye. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. He'll get it up the middle. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Tannehill keeps on the sneak. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Ryan Tannehill taking it in. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt away the game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done, because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
To throw is Jackson. And that's incomplete. His favorite target, Travis Kelce, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Here's Jackson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Got to be careful here. They need to move quickly, but it's also 4th. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And it's looking like the Dolphins are going to win the football game. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Victory very likely now for the Dolphins as they take a knee here. They'll go ahead and take the knee here, and the unbeaten season will continue. And a sight that's becoming familiar in this season. They remain undefeated, another win under their belt.
And they did it the way that they really want to. Taking a knee at the end of the game. That means you have the ball, you're in control, you dictate the final part of this ball game, and they did exactly that.
And the clock rolls down to 0. Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Dolphins, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they'll return home next week to take on the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, the loss drops them back to 4-3 so far. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.